You're listening to a Countout Podcast.
Lou, doing decorating stuff. Decorating stuff is my favorite stuff. Lou.
Woo!
Oh, that's right.
Right.
He's back.
Celebrate good times. Come on. Woo.
All right.
Okay, I
Looks
got it.
like my man has returned with the snacks.
How you tracking?
Right?
How you tracking?
What? Oh no, I got everything done. As you can see, I've put up the buntings.
Looking great.
The buntings around the room. Hashtag G1dering.
Beautiful.
Ep100.
Yeah, exactly. Did WeWork Stiff ship over my trophy yet, or what's going on with that? We've seen that?
See, I asked them. They said when they come over, because we've invited all of our friends over for our 100th anniversary.
They are coming
show.
over. Yeah, absolutely.
They are all coming over. Of course, we've got Dave and Josh coming over. We've invited so many different people. Joel and Damon can come over.
Absolutely.
Sonal can come over. We can have the Keeping It Strong style, Never Open Pod. All those guys. All
Everybody.
coming over.
Just the entire space, really. That's going to be awesome. Get Samsa over. He can bring the baby. Let's
Yeah.
get them all
It's going to be so much fun.
Absolutely.
Arbor can come.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody.
Everybody.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to party like there's no fucking tomorrow.
Woo! Because I mean, it crossed over while we're on G1dering, but 100 episodes. Well, over 100 episodes. Over 100.
Well over 100 episodes.
Well over 100.
On our way to 200 now.
And you know what else is crazy about that? During that time, we've actually been 2 podcasts as well.
2 podcasts, 100 episodes.
Absolutely.
And well, I mean, really, if you think about
Cheers.
it, we started out as a 3rd podcast.
Well, yeah, we kind of did because we've technically been the Super J cast as well.
And we've been Faces and Feels together.
Yeah, and we haven't been throwing dice because I haven't been invited to that yet. But we were the Smark Foundation at one point as well.
We were the Smart Foundation.
So we've been quite a few podcasts, really. Bit sleuty of us.
We are the best party sluts in the fucking
And we've been WeWork Stiff too. So
we have been work stiff before. Yeah, no, this is going to be so much fun. I can't wait for everybody to show up. I think
it's overdue. It's overdue. And let's face it, let's just get around, focus on what's important, us, and really just sort of reminisce. Not only, I think, on G1dering, another fabulous G1dering. Who else is fucking insane enough, brave enough to take on the G1dering besides us? Not many, if any. But then also maybe just a little bit of a look back, sort of how we got here and where we've been and the emotional turmoil that this podcast has taken on us.
I mean, really, we should wait for everybody to get here before we blow out the candles and everything.
Oh,
like that.
yeah, I mean,
that's so much to do.
Well, I'm not really sure why you've got the candles burning already. That's just going to end up with a ton of wax in that cake. And that's an expensive cake. That's like five tiers? Are we getting married? What are you doing over there?
Well, you don't like the action figures I put on top?
Oh, I mean, I always like an action figure, especially when
I'm
they
a
look
Ninja
like us. I'm obviously Raph,
Turtle.
and you are very clearly not Raph. So, yeah.
No, I'm the Shredder.
All right. Well, before we get into before everybody gets here, we are going to have to work on the mixtape. We've really got to work that out and
Set the mood.
Yeah, set the mood. Before we do though, let's just quickly take a second because I do want to, before we get into the nitty-gritty of that kind of stuff, just reflect on over 100 episodes. Because let's face it, you and I have never met each other in real space, in real time. We were teamed up by Joel and Damon from the Super J Cast. They went away. Joel went to have his baby boy, who's probably like 15 now. I don't even know how long it's been since that happened. But we were put together as complete strangers to host an episode of the Super J Cast. And we had so much in common and had so much fun doing that we then started our own show. And since then, we speak weekly, but like, you know, most days, I guess, we message each other. Like, yeah, we've become fixtures in each other's lives pretty significantly. And we've been there for each other through all sorts of shit. Like, I have had a hand and then not had a hand. I've changed careers. I've, you know, done podcasting. You've been in and out of stuff. You've quit a podcast. You started another one. You know, we've done gaming, you've won tournaments, we've done all sorts of stuff and been like there for each other through everything that's happened. And I just want to say like, cheers to you, man. And thank you for your friendship. And I'm glad that we do this.
I'm glad that we do this too, man. This is, I'm so proud of this podcast that we have. Like, you know, it's true. We did meet, you know, working to fill in for somebody else, but like, it just felt like it felt right. You know, we were thrown together. Everybody else came as an already done pair.
Yeah,
we were the only two people that were going to do it on our lonesomes. And Slapdash, we're like the tag team that gets thrown together for like World Tag League that no one believes in.
But then we have a fireside chat and we get it done. But we've never turned on each other yet.
Yeah, no one's joined House of Torture yet. Or do we both join House?
I mean, we might. There has definitely been. There's been like shadows of possible heel turns for sure. Who will barbershop the other one before it happens? You don't know. But
I got really jealous when you won the stiff one. The stiff one.
Yeah,
Climax,
you did.
Dude.
You're lurking in the thing.
Jealous there.
But see, and then everybody will think Curtis is going to make the heel turn. But then I'm actually like the fucking Shawn Michaels, where I start to get too big for my britches, and next minute you're through a window.
Oh, you've swerved them.
Yeah,
swerved everybody.
Swerved everybody. But yeah, and I'm really, I don't know if we really talked about it. I'm actually super proud of that Super J-Cast episode because I guess like if you listen to that whole, I don't even know I wish I knew what episode number it was. I'm sure people can find if they go back. But if you listen to that,
it's on our feed.
Hey, it is on our feed.
Our feed.
Yeah. If
the
you
unedited version.
Exactly. And just our part or everybody's part? Just our part. Just our part. But if you listen to the whole thing that's on the Super J-Cast, we're all over that. And that is because we put a lot of fucking work into it. You know what I mean? All the interviews.
You put a lot of fucking work into
it. Well, yeah. I mean, Super J-Cast was a huge influence on me. It was like my favorite podcast. So when I got the opportunity to think, like all those interviews, any New Japan related creator or anything you hear on that, like we arranged that, you know what I mean? Like that happened, all the answering machine message stuff and shit like that. Like I did it like for them because like, I just appreciate what they do so much, you know? And I really wanted that when they listened to it for the first time, when Joel had his new baby and he could finally listen back to this thing that, you know, his friends in the space created, I wanted him to be really happy and proud of it. You know, and I'm so proud of what we did there. And I met one of my best friends because of it. And so I just think it's so cool, you know, like getting the opportunity to do that. And then when they did the most recent one, I did not go back. I'm way too busy at the time. You went back and you fucking Iron Man'd it and were all over that yourself. Like you were doing multiple interviews while they were away and all sorts of stuff. Like it was cool.
Yeah, I teamed up with Booze Leprechaun.
Mm-hmm.
Booze Leprechaun, my good friend, and she and I had actually talked a long time ago before you and I started this podcast. She and I were going to start one together based around doing reviews of Japanese tokusatsu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember you saying huge fans.
Yeah, when we got the opportunity to start a show of our own from the lovely Count Out Podcasting Network, who are also invited to our party today.
Yeah, absolutely right.
All the creators from that.
Because though we ended up starting the podcast formerly known as Okada Shorts, we hadn't necessarily planned on doing it. Count Out Network approached us after that episode and were like, would you guys want to do it? And we were like, maybe we do. And that is so it's Ryan's fault that you're all listening to us, really.
Yeah, it's Ryan's fault. Blame him if you don't like what we say.
And remember that, Ryan, when you're giving us shit about not releasing G1 episodes on time. Fuck off.
How much like free content do we do during the G1?
Like so much. So much. Yeah. It's crazy.
But yeah, so
and people listen. Maybe not everyone, not all of our listeners stay on listening to that madness, but some do.
Some do.
Yeah.
And
some
like you have the option. You have the option to listen if you would like. That's
Absolutely.
what we're here for.
We're here
for the people.
The idea is for it to be like just a little bite-sized companion piece as you're watching, to like watch the episode and then immediately have like a friend you can listen to talking about it. Yeah. It's not supposed to be the most all-encompassing coverage. That's not the point of G1. The point of it is to be like, why I did it for the very first time with Faces and Feels is because like I just wanted to talk about it and had nobody to talk about it with. So I was like, I'm just going to talk about every episode as it happens, just so I can fucking blurt my thoughts out. And so hopefully other people go, oh, fuck, I really enjoyed that. Now I'm going to listen to Rafe or Curtis fucking give me their thoughts on it. That's the goal of it, right?
Yeah, and I mean, you definitely shouldn't be thinking, hey, what did Rafe and Curtis think about this? I mean, that, just go.
We're full of shit.
Just go like, oh, man, that was really good. And then you listen to us and you go, oh, I didn't catch that. That was great. That sort of thing. Like, It's just, like you said, talking about it with your friend. So like when you're, when your homeboys, you're watching a movie with them and you go, oh man, I didn't like this character. And you go, oh, you didn't like when that character did this, set this up for the ending. And they go, oh shit, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
It's that kind of discussion.
Or it might be the kind of thing where you listen to it and you hear me talk about an entire G1 night in 8 minutes in my van and you're like, Rafe didn't even fucking touch on my favorite bit, that motherfucker. I'm going to blast him on the internet. Then that's totally fine too. Nobody did do that, but they could. And I wouldn't mind it.
Thank goodness.
Because you know what? It made you think thoughts and then you're reviewing it in your mind and you're like, oh, they didn't even talk about that bit. And then that gets you thinking about it.
Get you thinking, man.
Get you thinking thoughts. Thinking thoughts with your brain mind. And so here we are. We've done it for geez, how many years has it been now?
2.5.
2.5. And we only threaten to quit maybe once or twice a week now.
I mean, yeah, well, most people don't even hear it. We kind of work all that out.
Yeah.
Between episodes.
Exactly.
In the chats.
In the chats. And to be honest, we joke about quitting all the time. And it's not about it's more about the time it takes to podcast amongst everything else we do in our lives. But I think it's something that we're pretty proud of. And I think just as an excuse to hang out and chat together, it's pretty great. I mean, because it's the talks that we have either side of the New Japan chat that are kind of the most important in some ways. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think the idea of quitting the podcast has never actually crossed my mind. Like when we were trying to decide, like when Okada left and I was like, I fucking hate wrestling. I still wanted to get on here and talk to you about it. And
yeah.
Like, we might as well fucking release it,
Yeah, exactly. So, I never think about quitting the podcast. I do think about quitting podcasting, the thing that I do in the spare moments I have around my life, just because it's exhausting and sometimes I can't be fucked doing it. But I never regret it once I hit record and we start talking. You know what I mean? And it always refuels me for the next time. It's when we have the long stretches where we're not speaking, like if we're on top of things or we're away and things like that, that's hard to go, oh, fuck, I've got this full-on week. Where can I fit in like an early morning or a late night or whatever to speak to my friend that unfortunately is 7 hours time difference from me? That's the toughest part about us being on the other side of the world.
Is every podcast except for We Work Stiff like completely separated by oceans?
I think so. I think they kind of are because New Japan fans, as a rule, are pretty fucking few and far between and nerdy, and so like it's hard to find somebody else that wants to talk to you about it. There's a reason why Faces and Feels started essentially me talking about New Japan on my own. You know what I mean? I used to watch it with my wife and Mo, but they didn't want to be on a podcast. So
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't blame him. It's not for everybody. Like, I've asked my wife before if she'd like to have some of her thoughts on it. She was like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah, I wanted my wife to do it with me originally because she's so fucking funny. Like, and
She's hilarious.
but she's so funny, so brutal. But yeah, she's just not interested in it, which is totally fine. But they, you know, it was. I don't know if I told you this story, but when we originally came up with the idea of me ever even starting podcasting, it was like drunkenly walking through the streets of Japan after watching New Japan as like a group, the three of us. And it was me kind of going like, I just want to talk about it more and I'd like to, you know, meet people and do stuff and maybe get to commentary and things like that. And Momo and Amy were like, you should do it. Like, you're an engaging person and, you know, people like you. They always like you. And like, and Momo's like, I'll do your art and blah, blah, blah. And we were talking about it and talking shit. And then I went and did it, right? And that was really great. It was a really cool moment when I did commentary for the first time. And Momo came up to me afterwards and she was like, I'm so proud of you because you like manifested this out of nothing. You know what I mean? Like, we were drunk on the streets fucking, you know, in 2019 or whatever. And it's now 2023 and you're commentating wrestling. Like, just off the back of you starting to speak into a microphone on the internet. And not many people see that whole journey, you know what I mean? And share that fandom and understand how far that is, like, and how much work that takes. Like, you know, without patting myself on the back too much, there was a lot of fucking work and relationship building and trust and all the things that it takes to become a presenter and a host and stuff needed to be developed to get to the point where somebody would go, yeah, sure, you can commentate over my fucking wrestling company, put all these people over, even though you've never done it before. Like, that's crazy.
It takes a special kind of person to like give an unknown quantity their shot.
Yeah,
you know?
I was really lucky, and I think there's a lot of people vouching for me through interviews and stuff, and like the work I'd done with companies like Deathmatch Down Under and ICW No Holds Barred, who came over from the States. I was really close with those guys, and so, you know, when Michelle turned around to put on Dude, and I was sort of recommended as a person to just help her get venues and book bands because we did bands on the first one and stuff like that. That was like a thing. And then we got on so well and we'd done an interview. She just trusted me. She was like, I'll do it. And I mean, I guess they could have just always not used my commentary if it was shit. So
and they've asked you back to do it at least once.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've done every one since. So yeah, that was good. And then Andrew trusted me to do that. And yeah, so see how it goes. But yeah, there's just so many little things that since I don't know about for you, but for me, like relationships that I've built, and like if you look at the flapping of the butterfly wings and all the things that have sort of happened in my life and even other people's lives because of that decision to start speaking to that microphone, it really is fucking crazy. Like, I've seen people get booked and change their careers directly because of an interview they had with me. Like, and I've been told that the promoter was like, so I had to hear this motherfucker say on your podcast he wanted to do the death matches. I fucking put him in. Like that kind of shit. And yeah, and that happened. And even tours that happened, people coming up to me afterwards go, you know, this probably wouldn't have happened if not for like your part in it. Because I would have never met that person if we weren't mutual friends with you and things like that. And those kind of things are fucking crazy when you're told that. Like, they probably would have happened anyway, but they did happen that way. And that is the wildest part, you know. And there's only a few people that sort of know these things and share in that. But I think as much as I joke about quitting it all the time and stuff, it really is fucking crazy the things that can happen just from this thing right here. You know what I mean? Like, how do you feel? Because you've also made some, though you're not moving in sort of like the local wrestling kind of space. So there's obviously friends that you now have, like in England, that you met, like Sipsy and stuff like that, guys that you watch wrestling shows with who are friends with mutual friends that are podcasting. You know, it's wild.
Yeah, it's for me, like, I'm not looking for any sort of forward momentum or anything like that. Like, I just want to get to know people.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool. Like, you know, running up to people, like, you know, or going to a show with Sipsy and sitting with him, and taking the train home with Joel.
Yeah.
And you know, after a show, and
That's
you know,
great.
talking shit here and there. It's tons of fun, man. Seeing you know, after shows, running up and seeing Kieran or Editor Dan, you know, those guys who are on the fringes of the podcastiverse, and you know, really getting to know who they are, and you know, hanging out with them. Those guys are cool guys.
Yeah. And it's also
know,
like other fans, right? Which wrestling is a pretty fucking solitary fan base. You spend a lot of it just watching it on your own. It must be super nice to be like, I can talk this shit with you guys, you know?
Yeah. I really want to do a like a content creator meetup. I've sent a message to Sonal about Royal Quest, and like just have a big like content creator meetup. You know, I'm not sure actually what's around that area. I know Crystal Palace is like, there are some like cafes and everything like that there, but there's not like a place, like a big restaurant where we can all get together and like rent out a room, I don't think. But it would be so much fun if we could all just find like a pub and everybody chill before the show.
Yeah,
and,
just
like,
go, we're going to be here for 3 hours before the show. Anybody that wants to come, listeners, content creators, whatever, and try and catch up. So that'd be awesome. See, I'm in the same country as We Work Stiff, but we're on the literal other side of the fucking country. Like, and it's very rare that I guess kind of the closest to them would be Sydney. It's even rarer that I'm in Brisbane, you know. So, but yeah, maybe I'll see him next year. Because we might go to Brisbane for fucking AW, I don't know, in February.
It'll be really fun when we all are in Japan together. That's what's going to be fun.
Yeah, well,
someday it's going to happen.
You guys,
Someday
should absolutely make that happen. If we all met at the Tokyo Dome one time, that would be unbelievable. Yeah, that, or we all come to the UK. That'd be cool.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, if they do Forbidden Door, well, they are doing Forbidden Door in the UK next year. So you all have an open invitation.
Yeah.
I've got a couch.
All of it, all three of us on the couch with our partners.
Yeah, tits to toes, man, tits to toes.
But
like,
the thing,
like fucking Willy Wonka.
The thing about the UK versus Japan is it's so fucking expensive to do it. Like, it really is so much more expensive.
Yeah, but you got your room and board already paid for. So
well, that is true. That is true. But Donna keeps threatening to want to come to Australia as well, right?
She thinks about it, but like, I don't think she wants to. She's gonna see one of your giant fucking spiders the size of a dinner plate, and fucking her head's gonna turn inside out, and she's gonna freak out, man.
Get used to them. As long as it's got its lead on, it's fine.
Die.
We just walk them. It's cool. As long as it's well exercised.
Yeah, she's gonna see some kind of crazy bird spider. Yeah. Thing doesn't even just chases you. Just chases you.
That's all it does. That's how it exercises. But yeah, either way, I'm just fucking so glad that we've done it and we continue to have fun. I'm glad that we're always on the same page. I'm glad that I don't know, we're kind of past the point of really pandering to social media. We don't really care about it. It may mean that our listener base stays what it is. Maybe it slowly gets bigger or less. But I don't think either of us, unless we pay somebody to do social media, can really be fucked with it. So I think we're just going to keep on doing what we do and doing what entertains us. And then at least we can never be unhappy with it. And it's never a waste of time.
We're two middle-aged men. We don't belong on social media. It's just not a thing.
And I just don't give a fuck, eh? Like, I literally just do it for us. You know what I mean? And if people dig it, great. Then you love the same kind of stuff we do. But I just don't care. I just don't. Yep. I don't need 1,000,000 viewers, listeners, whatever. I just don't care.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice to have numbers that are enough to make us feel good. Like every time we, put out an episode, we can go like, I hope everybody likes that. But like, you know what? If we've got, 100 people that listen to an episode, if we've got 10 people who listen to an episode, if we got one person listens to an episode, I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I used to care. I know Ryan gives us his crazy numbers every month. I don't even read it. I more just kind of look at the trends, up, down, whatever it may be. But like there was a long time that I really cared about that, like with Faces and Feels. I was on about, I need to get to 100 episodes. I need to do this and blah, blah, blah. I need to have this many things. And I've had, many listen. Fuck, it's been a long time since I've looked at I don't know. The last time I gave a fucking checked, I think Face and Feels was at over 27,000 downloads or something like that. I don't even know if that's good, right, in its entire existence. And I've had big episodes with wrestlers where I'm like, I can't believe that. Like when it dropped, it had 500 listens and all this shit like that. But those things just come and go. Like it just depends on who's hot at the time, what you're promoting. And it really takes a lot of work. Like I had to get out of that cycle of like chasing the next interview, which is my next big interview to show that I'm the fucking guy that's like right on the cusp of this. And it was exhausting. You know what I mean? And then things come up in your life, you know, like Amy got sick or, something happens and work is all consuming and these things happen. And then your real priorities shown through and then it falls back off and it's like, well, do I begin this race again or do I just not fucking care? Like that's really what it is. It's such it's really the guys that do it like consistently with huge numbers, with like a pop and social media presence, with all those things. It takes a lot of work. It's not just press a few buttons on your phone, press record on a mic and you're done. It's all the things around the recording of the episode is the hard part. Like it really is the posting on all the platforms, the being present, the paying for advertising. I've never paid for advertising on social media, but all that kind of stuff is like, I would need to hire a company, you know what I mean, to do it for me.
Yeah. Like the thing is, if you're trying to make a career out of it, then yeah, you're going to want to like keep working, bust your ass. Let's go grind. Mm-hmm. I ain't into that, man. I got a full-time job. I'm just here to have fun.
Yeah.
I want to talk wrestling with my boy. I want to talk, you know, have fun with all these maniacs, however many of them there are that are coming to this party today. I'm glad you're here, you know?
Absolutely.
I'm not looking to try and fucking move on. I'm not looking to try and get a job with AEW or some shit like that. You know? Like, I just want to talk wrestling with y'all.
Absolutely. So let's do that. We go work up this mixtape, right? Congratulations for 100 episodes. Thank you for being my friend. And
have a slice of cake.
Have a slice of cake. Have some of these chips. Have a swig of this beer. Cake. And we're going to make our calm pie. Ryan's going to hate that in the audio, me cheersing the mic. Oh, well.
It's a party, Ryan.
Calm down, Ryan. Fucking cop. So
everybody's a cop today.
Everybody is a cop today. So we're working on our mixtape. Everybody's coming over. We need to find the bangers. We need to talk about G1 and what the hits are. Now, you were talking about like, how do you make a good mixtape? And I've got my own thoughts. You take me through yours. I'll take you through mine. Not matches, but like what you think is going to balance the perfect mixtape. And I'll tell you what I think we need to include, and then we'll start workshopping it.
Well, I think that a good mixtape starts, and this is a lost art that you and I are talking about, being middle-aged men now.
There will be people that listen to this that don't even know what a mixtape is.
Yeah. I used to make the perfect mixtapes because I would start and I would make it so that every song was able to blend into the next one.
Absolutely.
If one ended with like a fade out, the next one would end or start with a fade in, that sort of thing. I would always try to make it so that every song bled into the next one.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we need to do when we're thinking about the way the matches end. Like if one's a shock ending, maybe we'll have like a big match next. So it's like you end with like oh my God. And then like, oh, wait a minute. Now we get to watch this.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of, so you get that
absolutely
ride. But also this is for a party. We're going to have all our friends over watching this.
Absolutely.
So we've got to make it so that it kind of fits the areas that we're going to
It's got to build with the night, right? Like it can't come in too hot, but then it can't also like dip off at the peak of the party.
Exactly.
And then the last rule of mixtapes is it needs to tell a story. It needs to capture. So if you're making a mixtape for somebody, maybe it's a girl that you like, maybe it's your best mate and you want to capture what it is, it has to hit that story. And I think as we do this, we need to make sure that we capture the beats of the G1, the most important beats that tell the story that was the G1. Now that we're saying this, I didn't realize it at the time, but this is probably a little bit, without even realizing it, inspired by Samson, right? Because he said that he viewed the G1 as an album, didn't he? And he's like, different matches are different songs or different parts of songs and stuff like that. So it's a little bit like that, not quite as in depth as that, but we do need to make sure that we capture that story. And there's certain characters in the G1 that are bigger characters and story beats for the G1, and then the others are just sort of bit players, So we need to capture that. So what do you think the opening track, how many tracks are on this? I guess we'll just see how it plays out, but I think we do need to limit it.
I think we should go 10.
5 per side.
5 per side.
Love it. So opening track.
So, I think the one of the best ways to do with this opening track here, everybody's coming in, everybody's having, starting off the night, everybody's, getting a little loosey-goosey.
Grooving a little bit, absolutely.
Maybe we start off with Gabe Kidd and what's his name? Big Smokey there, fucking Jake Lee.
Oh, okay. But isn't that a little bit late in the tournament, or we're not going chronological?
I don't think we need to go chronologically. I think we just need to kind of catch the feel, catch the rhythm.
Yeah, okay. Because I mean it starts that way, but it kicks off.
Yeah, it changes.
It changes
fast.
beat real fucking fast. The look on Jake Lee's face is definitely that, but that might be like as the night starts to kick in a little bit.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe, what do you think about Yuya versus Finlay? Yuya's first win. So it's first night, Yuya Uemura versus David Finlay, and everybody's thinking that Yuya's going to be a little bit of an underdog in this tournament. He went in the last round in our Stiff 1 draft, and then he beats the leader of the Bullet Club in the first round.
A nice shock win.
Yeah.
A match that it was good, but it wasn't top tier. It was just like because
it's like,
see what happened.
So you've started the night. It's solid. There's stuff going on. You're seeing beatdowns by Finlay. Okay, this is in the background kind of thing. Shock win, and you're like, whoa! Suddenly, it's caught my attention. What's this riff that just kicked in? We're waking up now.
I like that. That. We can go with that. Start them in, ease them in a little bit.
Yeah,
I like it, but I think how it leads into now we've got to think about how it leads into the second track. And for the second track, I think by this time we're all feeling it. We've all got a drink in our hands. We've all had a couple slices of cake.
Absolutely.
Maybe there's a cute girl in the corner you want to talk to.
Only if it's my wife.
Loose. Kind of getting loose,
Yeah, yep.
Now we've got to give the people what they want, right? We got to have a little party now. Right? A little pep in our step. Let's get it bopping. Let's do something big.
Yeah.
Right? Let's do Jeff Cobb and Konosuke Takeshita.
Yeah, okay. Takeshita and Cobb.
That's what everybody's fucking feeling,
Boom.
Everybody's like, I'm feeling good. That was
just riffing, things are happening, yeah.
And now things are moving. We got big boys doing big boy shit. Let's go.
Absolutely. An absolute banger of the tournament as well. And so everyone's like, oh, fuck, okay, meaty men slapping meat. Things are starting to happen. The tempo is picking up. And then what do we need to do? We need to take him to the fever pitch. You know what comes after that?
What comes after that?
Zack Sabre Jr. defeats Tetsuya Naito and parties in the crowd with with the people.
Everybody's feeling good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or is that too soon? Is that too soon for the end of side 8? Maybe that's the end of side A. Maybe I took it. Maybe too hot. Maybe after Cobb, now it's Jake Lee and Gabe Kidd. Now, okay, we're all
Yes.
celebrating. That was a big boy match. We're going to have a couple of beers. Bam. Brawling everywhere.
Big brawly. Big brawly. I like that better, I think. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with Jake Lee and Gabe Kidd as number 3.
Also shines a good light on Jake Lee early in the tournament, opposed to like our first kind of matches where we're like, who is this fucking loser? You know what I mean? It starts him in a good light, I think. And so you're not as negative about him from early on.
How do you feel about this? We've had the Jake Lee, Gabe Kidd, walk and brawl sort of thing there. Big brawly. What about Great O'Khan and Evil after that? Kind of feeling that same sort of moment. And then you get that big win from Great O'Khan.
Yeah. So his first of the tournament.
Yep. You get you're really getting that buzz on because you're feeling like, damn, we just conquered Evil. That's fucking killer, you know? And then we bust right in to ZSJ partying in the crowd to end side A.
End side of A, he's fucking holding the belt, and you're like, what is going on? What is this foreshadowing at the end of side A? Love it.
I like that.
So let's run them back. So what do we got? We've got Yuya and Finlay. We've got Cobb and Takeshita. We have Jake Lee and Gabe Kidd. We have Evil and Great O'Khan. And then we have Zack Sabre Jr. and Tetsuya Naito. Side A, complete.
I fucking love that. I love that. So let's try and throw in some people that we haven't seen yet for side B.
Well, for side B, you're already at a peak. So I personally feel like you just need to like open up with a huge riff, right? And keep it going because we're now in the middle of the party and we need to bang it out. Tell me what you think about Takeshita versus Goto as the opening track of side B. Or is that like the second last?
I think Takeshita versus El Phantasmo.
Ooh, yeah, the lights are popping. Absolutely.
And that big fucking bastard driver
through the table. Yeah. Okay, we're going to put a pause on Goto then. You know what? I think Goto is like the second last track, probably.
And you know which match it is too. When you're feeling good at the end of the night, you and your buddies are drunk. You're hugging each other, telling each other how much you love each other.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say. Say it.
You know that, man.
Speak it into existence. Is this
no? That'll be
okay.
That'll be second to last track. Second to last.
Okay, then.
Okay, so that was match 6.
Okay,
match 7. After Takeshita and Phantasmo. What about?
Oh, I know what it is.
Which one?
You know what it is.
What? Tell me.
What about Gabe Kidd versus Shingo?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Is next. Second track, side B, banger.
Because so you've got the bastard driver through the tables and shit like that, and you're just like, fuck yes, G1 is in. And then you get the guys who don't need the fucking tables because they're gonna fucking hit each other with clotheslines and just knock the shit out of each other for fucking 15 minutes. That's a winner.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got 3 more matches in my head and I'm not sure what the order is. I want to hear what your next match is before I suggest something.
My next match, if I had to give you one, I don't know, because I'm trying to think of people we haven't used much.
Some of them are just going to be on the sidelines, my man, because we're given a mixtape of banger highlights, and I can think of 2. Well, every one of those matches has somebody we've at least spoken about once in it.
Okay. So I think this was a great match for a great tournament for Tsuji. And I'm trying to think of who his best moments were in the tournament, in the block stages, not in the finals and things like that. But I don't want to just use Takeshita again.
No, you know? I was thinking
I don't want to put the same song twice in a row.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard because Takeshita had so many good matches. And I also don't want to do 2 songs by the same artist in a row. But sometimes that artist just bangs them out. And you could just straight up follow Gabe Kidd and Shingo with Gabe Kidd and Zack Sabre Jr.
Oh,
back to back.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh man, that might.
We're in a medley now. We're in like a.
this is the second side of 2112 by Rush.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
He's in the Temple of Syrinx and things like that. So we're working it. Concept album.
Absolutely, but it's hard to top it, right? Because it just like has that perfect ending with him flipping him off and going out on his shield. Like it almost like writes Gabe Kidd out of the tournament, off the mixtape. You know what I mean? He kind of comes in hot and leaves hot.
So that's Gabe Kidd and Zack Sabre Jr., and that's 8, right? We've got 2 more songs left from here.
Yeah.
So I think song 9, because we've got the moment where we're down and we're all kind of like, is the night over? Is the night over? Right. Then that's where we have Hiroki Goto and David Finlay. That spot in the night, it's towards the end of the evening. You're all drunk as shit. You're all hugging your best friends, telling them how much you love each other. You're feeling it.
Yeah.
You feel it deep in your heart.
The kids come out. We're all thinking about our families and our loved ones. Arm around each other, swinging.
Episodes.
Absolutely. And then fucking Goto gets it done when you just think he's out of the tournament. And you're like, let's fucking go.
That's it. That's okay. Now, last match of the night. The one where you're saying, we've told everybody we love each other. We've sat around, talking for the last 47 minutes. We've all just been so happy to be there. But now we want everyone to get out because we want to go to bed. So let's do Jake Lee and Sonata.
No way. Fucking hell, that friendship over. Then that's when the podcast breaks up. So there's a couple of ways you can end it here. And I feel like, but I'm just not sure it was. Do you end with the final? So do you end with Zack and Tsuji, with Zack winning as the rightful last track of the album, right? Or do you just do Takeshita and Goto? And then in our minds, we rewrite it that was him winning the G1.
Oh, man, that would have been amazing. I think
it's got to be the final
right way to end the night. It's got to be the final.
Yeah.
It's a match of the year contender, like hands down.
It was very good.
If we want to make the album of the year, might have to.
I think everybody, like the peak of the party and the end of the party being Zack holding the cup's got to be it, right? Like, well, not the cup, but the trophy and the flag, and finally getting his moment. I feel like that's it.
Yeah, and that leads you towards from the emotional high of Goto's triumphant moment into that, it's coming home moment with Zack Sabre Jr. I think that's perfect. I think we would all be, at that moment thinking about how much the sport of pro wrestling actually means to us.
That's it. Absolutely. I think that's a banger mixtape.
I think so. I mean, like, yeah, there are some people that didn't quite get their due on it. But when you got 10 matches, you got to narrow down 10 matches.
This is the heartbreak of mixtapes, bro. plenty of great songs never made it on a mixtape. You know what I mean? Because it just didn't hit it. And if I'm going to narrow the whole tournament down to those 10 matches, like, I mean, fuck, there's some good ones in there. Fucking Godo and Oleg, Hanare and fucking Cobb, Hanare and Oleg. Fucking Hanare had so many good matches. Cobb had heaps of great matches, you know. Fucking Okan defeating Naito, like, is a huge one. Like,
huge.
Exactly. Dominated. Exactly. So it's like, how do you leave these out? But it's like, but how do they make it above the ones that we've listed?
Especially in the way that we've listed them. I think that we really like set the tone. You know, the first side ends with the champion being pinned, looking like, I mean, Naito didn't have a great tournament, but
no,
he led to that moment with Zach, you know, and then we set it out where we've had other people who who would have thought we were actually going to put an evil match on here?
Yeah.
We wanted to have that triumphant moment for Okan, you know, like,
absolutely. Okan did get a mention in there.
I would much prefer to have Oleg Boltin over Evil, but it doesn't work for the mixtape.
Exactly.
And that's what we need. G1 mixtape.
Well, then, okay, so that's the mixtape. That's lockdown. That's the tracks, right? If we just quickly, in a lightning round, go through all the competitors and just say our favorite match that they had.
Yes.
Or try and at least pick one, yeah?
Yeah, let's do it where we have to agree which one was our favorite.
Sure.
Which one was the Ichiban Sweet Cast favorite for each competitor?
Absolutely. Okay, so first up, Tetsuya Naito. What was your favorite Naito match? It doesn't have to be him winning or losing, just like your favorite one.
Great Okan.
It's pretty good.
Just for the moment.
I did like the Jake Lee match, I think. I liked that fucking Naito was really being in super uber shit stir mode. You know, when he's like just being an absolute prick.
Dickhead Naito is the best.
I love it. But yeah, I think it's Okan or Zach, but I think just what it meant for Okan made that the best. Do you think that showcased Naito the best though? Like, because I think though that was the best match he was in because of what it meant for Okan, do you think that was the best Naito match?
No, I think if we're going for what made Naito look best, it was going to be probably Zach. They have such good chemistry.
Sure. Yeah, I would agree. And even though he lost that one again, he looked really good there. So would you say that maybe it's the Zack Sabre Jr. match is his best match?
Sounds like we're both saying that's the Zack Sabre Jr. match.
Yeah,
actually.
sure. All right.
Okay.
Shooter Umino.
Shooter's match with Gabe Kidd was probably my favorite.
Yeah, there was a lot of like real heat.
There was another level.
There was another level with that. It felt very personal because it was. And that, yeah, I completely agree with that. And that showed the most fire out of him too.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Who's next?
Shingo Takagi.
Ooh, that's a good one. His match with Zach was really good. His match with Naito was good.
Yeah. His match with Gabe was really good.
Gabe was really good.
He didn't have a bad match, really.
No, he didn't. I'm going to say Gabe, probably. From like his match with Gabe was, I think, pretty good.
I think so. That's what I like to see, and I love those two paired together. So I would say the Gabe Kidd match as well.
All right.
All right. Sonata. Did he have a good
Sabre
one?
Jr.
Yeah, Zack Sabre Jr.
Zack Sabre.
He's always best with Zach, right? Like,
he is always best with Zach.
Yeah, absolutely. And that one as well, like, it felt like it was going to be the one he won. So, yeah. But even though he didn't, like, I did feel like that was you know what? I really liked him with Shingo too this time. I like so see if I can turn you here. I really did like him getting the win over Shingo and the way that they handled it, like the sportsmanship between them. Like, we used to be friends. shake hands on it. I respect how far you've come. I did enjoy that. Like, as far as character development for Sonata, I did like that one most, I think.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But it depends what you value, right? Because I think in ring, like, I think the Zack match was probably better, but I did think as far as like developing the Sonata character and getting him somewhere, I think I did prefer the Shingo match.
I think, well, are we a character development podcast?
We aren't. We have been hanging out with We Work Stiff a lot lately. But I suppose we're doing recommendations for people if they wanted to watch a Sonata match in the tournament that would entertain them. It'd probably be the Zack one, right? Not that the Shingo one isn't good, but the Zack one is probably the better match.
Yeah.
I'll pay it. I can't win it every time. Next up is Evil. We reckon Evil's best matches.
Evil.
I know.
I would want to say Great O'Khan, but then again, Zack Sabre Jr.
I was going to say the Zack Sabre Jr. match, 19 seconds. I absolutely loved
19 seconds, and it was fun the entire time.
Yeah.
They always have fun with those two. Like, remember when he brought out Fujita?
Yeah. That's how Fujita got to the thing. I just think that's a perfect sort of little, if we were to say to somebody, watch this entire list of matches to give you an idea of what this character does in this G1, I feel like that's the perfect synopsis of Evil, right? Like, he's bashing him up, he's got all his homies, he got outsmarted, they're chasing him. I think it's a perfect example of who Evil is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, Jake Lee, we both know this.
Ooh, I mean, it was the Gabe.
It's the Gabe match. It's absolutely the Gabe match. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So for everybody who hasn't seen it, and you could if you watched it, but they are in the same faction. Jake comes out carrying 2 beers, like, buddy, we're on the same team. And then Gabe immediately fucking attacks him and turns on him, and then they fucking have a huge brawl. But in the end, Jake manages to get the win by outsmarting Gabe. And it was quite good. It was
smart bastard.
Yeah, exactly. You finally saw what the smart bastard was about. All right, Callum Newman.
Kellum really showed out with Shingo. Mm-hmm. I think beating Shingo, and a lot of people didn't like that, but I mean, beating Shingo, that's a pretty big, pretty big head to take.
That was a big one. Absolutely. What was his first win? Was it Shooter? Who did he beat in that first
he got
round?
him over.
I was going to say that was a good one for him just because it was a shock win. Everyone's like, he's barely not even a young lion, and then everyone's expecting Shooter to like be one of the favorites to win the tournament, and he gets that big upset.
And that was right after Oleg Bolton beat Ren, so that was I mean, that was
it was like 2 upsets back to back.
Whoa, right.
Set,
here we go.
It set pace for the tournament that nobody saw coming.
So do you think it was the Shooter match? Because I think he had a better match with Shingo.
Yeah, it'll be Shingo. I think that one's an honorable mention, but I agree. I think that Shingo gave him the better match for sure. Okay. After that is Hiroki Goto.
Oh, Goto's best match for me was the David Finlay moment. That was the moment of the tournament for me.
Yeah. The Takeshita match was pretty fucking good.
Oh, God damn, it was good.
It was such a good match because everybody thought he was going to... Well, I mean, you kind of thought he was going to lose both, really. The Takeshita match showed that he just still is a fucking weapon. And then the Finlay match really laid on that story of him overcoming and fucking... I don't know, it was magic in Korakuen Hall. I feel like it's got to be the Finlay one. Watch both if you can, but the Finlay one is really... If you're not on board with Goto after the Finlay match, you just have no soul.
Yeah. You don't have a heart. Yeah, that's what it is.
All right. Speaking of Takeshita matches, ELP.
His best match for me, it's got to be Takeshita.
It's got to be Takeshita.
His match with Goto was really good.
Mm-hmm. But it hurts because he fucking has to give Goto a loss. So I feel like the Takeshita match was great because it's when he first turns his jacket back on and like fucking comes back into the tournament, and that room is really behind him. So I feel like it's the Takeshita match.
Yeah, Takeshita. I called him the great revealer. You know, he's showing what these guys can be as New Japan main event stars.
Sure.
You know, that at that level. And it really showed that side of ELP, what ELP really can be.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, sure. Yoda Suji.
This is just block matches, right? Not the final.
It can be anything. I think just in the tournament.
I think the final match that he had, the second match he had with Takeshita, was fucking hype.
He was good with Finlay. Well, I mean, his last 3 were his best matches of the tournament. Easy.
For sure.
Was it the Finlay one where he used Yuya's move? Like to fucking
Yes.
get the win?
To advance, yeah.
That was good.
That was really good. Good moment.
But if you're just showing people bangers and want to give them a snapshot of Suji, which one do you think is better? Oh no, the Zack match was really fucking good as well.
The Zack match was so fucking good. But if you want to show, like, if you want to showcase Yoda Suji, I think, God, it feels like a cheat code to just keep saying Takeshita. But Takeshita really made everyone he worked with look like a fucking star.
Yeah, he did. And he keeps up that pace in every single match. I think we've just got to say the Takeshita one. It was really good. Because it's like you can watch Yoda and Takeshita part 1 and 2 in the same tournament. You know what I mean? And they're parts of essentially the same story. So you can kind of watch their first meeting and then their second meeting straight after it and like get that full story. Yep, absolutely. All right. Yuya.
Yuya's best match was, I mean, I'm trying not to say Takeshita again.
Takeshita was really good. The Finlay match we nominated right at the to open our mixtape was really good because that again was his big nobody really cares about what he's doing and he gets that big win over Finlay. That's really crazy.
Was that night 2, right?
I think it was all on night 1
undefeated
because it was all
night 1 he beat. No, you're right. Yes, you're right. We had 3 upsets right in a row. Yeah, that was kind of a shocking moment. And
yeah. What about
it was a lot of fun.
What about Yoda and Yuya, the one he gets injured in? Because obviously the match doesn't really play out like it's gonna, but like the after-match comments and everything like that, it just shows who he is like as a wrestler as well.
It really, really did show like a lot of fire. That's tough. So I would say either Finlay or Takeshita because the Suji match was cut so short.
Yeah, sure.
Like he worked 5 minutes with one arm.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably Takeshita, right? That was his.
God,
like the Finlay was a big win, but that was a huge win. I think he was the first guy to beat Takeshita as well. He was
so fucking good.
Yeah, fucking Takeshita, man. He's so good. All right, Jeff Cobb.
Jeff Cobb's best match, I would want to say probably the match he had with Hanare.
Yeah.
Like that brother versus brother sort of thing.
United Empire explodes like 2 big lads.
Respect.
Yeah, I would agree.
That was hard.
I really liked it. I really liked it. Speaking of Hanare, what was his best match? Because I think maybe Hanare's best match was... Who did he have? Did he fight Oleg?
He did.
I really liked that because Oleg. That's right, because Oleg won his first match and then he just runs into the brick wall that is Hanare.
Right.
Yeah.
His match with Goto was really good too. That reminded me of like never right about like the 2018 time. You know, like when you were getting those Goto and Shibata and Ishii matches and stuff like that. It took me back to that sort of space.
Yeah, except for it just hurt so bad because you knew it was the end of Godo's tournament. What about Hanare and ELP? Like Hanare's first one when he fucking sucks his first soul. We fucking loved that match.
That was good. I think.
But ELP isn't in peak ELP mode. He's in sad boy mode.
He was really sad. And like, I mean, Hanare kicking him in the chest and being like, fucking get up, do something.
Yeah, exactly. I did like Oleg. I think I did like Oleg, because it's like he's so big and you think, oh, fuck, Hanare's running into this big boy and he just like won his first match. And then Hanare just fucking puts him down and he's just fucking harder. Like, I think I really like that.
Okay, we'll say Bolton then.
Yeah, we'll give Bolton one. Finlay.
Finlay's best match. Fuck, man, that's a good one. The El Phantasmo match, probably. That was really good. Like that was good for story for Finlay. It was good because of the vengeance angle for ELP. So I feel like that was really good. And then like shutting down ELP, and the fans wanted it so bad. The fans wanted ELP to win so fucking bad, and Finlay was able to just barely pip him. And I think that was really good for Finlay.
Yeah, that was good. I would agree. That's really good. What about Narita?
Ooh, that's tough.
Which is the one, and it's just for the moment that I made a meme out of, where I think he beats somebody like Shingo, and he gets up and he's got like a big smile on his face, and then he sees the cameras looking at him and he instantly frowns on purpose, like looks at it like Kanye West, that fucking made me laugh. But I guess I'm a little bit softer on him in this tournament because he was in my team, so there was a few like little upsets he did for me that I was like, let's fucking go. I just needed you to fucking ruin somebody's night, and you did it for me. Hang on, I'm just having a look here. Who did he fight? No, he lost against Oleg. He's a bit of a hard one because he's such a bit player. Like, he's just there to be a banana peel in a sense. You know, it's not like he had a lot of character development or anything like that. He might be the hardest to pick in a lot of ways. Him and Cobb were good, right?
Yeah, that was good. Man, I'm having trouble thinking of anything that he did that was really really worth a damn for me. When he beat Goto, that was kind of a thing. But that was before Goto, Goto, the G1 stands for Goto.
Yeah, just before Goto really got popping. Well, this is a hard one. And I don't think he had a bad tournament at all, but he just wasn't in that sort of story arc, big moment kind of vibe, you know?
What about when he beat Yuya? I mean, he did have to have Kanemaru come out and kind of do the distraction bit, but that was insane. It was
I think
it was at Korakuen Hall, so the fans were hot.
Yeah, and Yuya was just popping kind of thing, and it was looking like he was going to go on a real hot streak, and then Ren just sort of shuts him down.
He did have a really good match with Hinare.
Yeah, he did
towards the end of the tournament.
I think Yuya Korakuen is the right one. I think that's a real good snapshot of fucking shithead Ren. Takeshita.
Takeshita's best match. Oof. I loved his match with Cobb. That was so much fun.
Yeah, him and Cobb, him and Goto, him and ELP,
him and Bolton, him and Yasuji for number 1 and number 2.
Bolton was real good, right? Because he sort of really brought out what Bolton could be.
Out of Bolton.
Yeah. And just for look what I can offer. I can make everybody, even the newest boys, look their best. But I think if we're doing blockbusters, it's probably ELP, right? Or Yuya.
That's the one that's going to be gift. It's going to be gift to hell. That and the Cobb moment where they come off the superplex and the fucking ring bounces.
Oh yeah, fuck, that's real good too. Cobb, ELP, Cobb, Goto.
Ooh.
He's got so many. Fucking hell.
I know. I want to say Cobb because it's really impressive, but I also want to say Bolton because it shows that he can bring the best out of anybody. But I also want to say ELP because it's going to be that's going to be one of those moments that people remember.
Yeah, I feel like if you were just going to go, his
match with David Finlay where he fucking did the senton to the outside for the first time with landed on all the chairs.
Oh, That was crazy too. I
was
feel
insane.
like let's not pick the ELP because we already gave that to the ELP one. So people aren't double watching matches. We'll pick another match. So I think, what do you reckon? Cobb? Or did we choose it for Cobb too? No, we chose Hanare for Cobb. So maybe Cobb?
Let's go for Cobb.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
go the Cobb match.
Oleg?
Impressive as shit.
Oleg, my favorite Oleg match was Goto.
His match with Goto was really good.
I like. There's a moment where like you could really start to see him putting together like the little pieces. Like there's a part where Goto does that sort of like fake out clothesline run he does, and Oleg turns like to get him, and then Goto's over here, and then he like turns back, and then he just gets fucking wasted. You know what I mean? Like I just felt like it was a really good example of him starting to get the smaller details.
Let's see. You know, man, I'm really sad that we don't have the Oleg versus Yuya match.
Yeah,
I feel like that would have been so
was their final match, like each guy's final match. So you kind of didn't get their full.
That was the one.
Their full tournament. Yeah.
Let's.
Or do you think Takeshita was his best match? Takeshita was really good for him.
Takeshita showed him like what he can be.
Maybe it's Takeshita.
So it's the cheat code. It's Takeshita.
Yeah, fucking hell. This guy's going to be the MVP of this tournament. Great Khan. I skipped forward a little bit. So Great Khan.
Great Khan's best match had to be
Naito, right?
With Naito, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
a fucking moment.
Gabe Kidd. Zach? Shingo Zach. Both really good. Surely it's got to be the double birds getting choked out fucking on his sword, like
having the blood from a stone cold moment.
Yeah. Or is it beating fucking Shingo and then kicking him in the balls rather than shake his hand?
That was so much fun. Dude, and the crowd was hot.
They wanted him. They wanted him real bad. See, that's why I keep going back to the Takeshita match, like Gabe Kidd on commentary, but like, is this motherfucker's hometown? Because the crowd was so fucking loud for him, you know?
Let's go with that one. Let's go with the Shingo match.
Yeah, absolutely. And then last, Zach's
best match. Oh, that's fucking tough. I liked the Shingo rematch in the final or in the semis.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, that's fucking.
I feel like it's got to be the final.
It's got to be the final or the match he had with Gabe.
Yeah,
I feel that Gabe match was, man, that was a match of the tournament.
So it was really good, wasn't it? Yeah, look, we already covered the final as the last track on the mixtape, so let's do a cheat code and get to pick 2 Zach matches and fucking go the Gabe match.
The final and the Gabe match.
Yeah, that's everybody, right? I didn't miss anybody. I don't think I did.
No,
I think that's everyone.
We got them all.
Yeah, that's hot. There you go. So there you go. You get a mixtape of the hottest hotness, and then you also get a recommendation for every single wrestler. So fuck, can we give any more to these people? It's amazing.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. Benefactors.
But I think the first guest should be arriving shortly here at our party.
We got to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Exactly right. They're going to come. I'm starting to get the texts coming in. People checking if they need to bring anything. They do.
Where you at?
We need guests.
Text.
Exactly. I guess then before we wrap it up, just your final thoughts on the tournament. I mean, if anybody wants to hear what we thought like in depth about G1, go check out the last episode we did with We Work Stiff, the wrap up of the Stiff 1 draft called The Castle over there at We Work Stiff. And we go into in-depth coverage with those guys on the entire run of G1, basically.
My final thoughts on the G1.
Please, hit me.
This was one of my favorite G1s I don't know how a G1 without Jay White, without Will Ospreay, without Okada, without Tanahashi, without Ishii, and it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, sure.
Wow,
I feel the same.
That's fucking wild. And it really like felt like something special is coming, and I think it's because everyone, New Japan's in the dirt, New Japan's in the dirt, dude. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah,
they absolutely knew what they were doing, and they fucking showed out.
New Japan are never in the dirt, bro. They've always got something else coming. They've always got something else coming. And we have said this on this podcast many times when we talk about tournament results, what we want to see. We always say we want to see a tournament launch a new star. That's what we say. By the end, we want to see it launch a new star. I think this G1 launched 20 new stars. I think it elevated every single person in the tournament to different degrees, obviously. Like, we struggled to think of an Narita match, but I don't think he's a worse wrestler or a worse heel after it. In fact, he played his role, you'd say, to perfection, really. You're left going, this motherfucker, this dastardly heel, you know what I mean? You're left feeling like he's one of the most evil guys in the company, and that's absolutely what he should be. You feel like Finlay is one of the hardest hitting, brutal motherfuckers. Jake Lee is a crafty son of a bitch. Gabe Kidd is an absolute wild card who's both equally loved and despised at the same time. Zach is the best wrestler in the world. Yoda's right there, but he couldn't quite put it together. Bolton's on the come up. Fucking Goto was the heart and soul of New Japan. Hinare is the fucking hardest hitting dude in it. Jeff Cobb is one of the most powerful and dominant wrestlers in it. Callum Newman is a future star. Fucking Sonata's in the dirt. Fucking Yuya is probably going to be like the next fucking ace of the company. He went out, even though, imagine this, and I'm not giving them the credit to say that. Imagine if Yuya wasn't really injured. Imagine if that was his story beat. Fake an injury, he goes out, fucking done, in tears, I didn't make it. What a fucking comeback he's going to have. You know, imagine if that was the choice they made. Like, I think it's probably an unfortunate accident that will turn into a serendipitous bonus for his entire story in wrestling. But if he's not really injured and they all played the part and they faked that, like, rather than have him go into the final night, have to just come up short and be like, you know what, this is our future ace. He's not even going to finish the fucking tournament. He goes out against his rival, who then goes on to use his finisher in the fucking finals. Does this shit write itself? You know what I'm saying? Like, everything's at work in wrestling, and I think he probably was injured. But if he wasn't, then they're geniuses, you know?
The conspiracy, like the crumbs, the breadcrumbs are there.
And you just don't know. And that's why I really enjoy this company, you know? I didn't touch on Shota Umino is the lost, forgotten dark ace, you know what I mean? He fell very short of what people thought of him. What does that mean for him? All these rumors circling around him. Is he actually a bad guy? You know? Fucking Takeshita, the fucking ace of the company that doesn't even work here. You know what I mean? Who is this guy trying to encroach on New Japan? What does he have in store? Will he be back? You know? Tetsuya Naito, the broken champion. What can he be? Can he make it to Wrestle Kingdom? Can he even continue to wrestle? Great Khan, fucking the clown that everybody thought it was really funny to make fun of until he finally starts to put it together and beats the champion and now has a title on the road to Wrestle Kingdom. I joked about Sonata, but the former champion who has fallen off and is trying to find his fighting spirit. Who else we got here? ELP, heartbroken, you know, baby face, troubled past. Will he or won't he return to his fucking evil ways, or will he trust in the fans and in himself to actually be something? You know, Finlay, is he the real leader of Bullet Club, or is he just a fucking, you know, a paper fucking leader? You know, and I think that's everybody. But like all of those story beats, yeah, I touched on everybody. All of those story beats are where we're left after this tournament. What other fucking tournament in wrestling gives you that? You know what I mean? Like, nobody else does it. I don't care if it's King of the Ring, the fucking Owen Hart tournament, the fucking whatever. You don't get that kind of in-depth analysis and story beats from the characters. They just play their part and then the people go on or whatever. But because this tournament goes for so long and this company thinks about all these things, you just feel it resonating and dripping out of this entire tournament.
Yeah, like you and I could sit here right now and do an entire episode about where we think things are going to go tomorrow.
And maybe we will do that as our next episode.
Maybe we will.
Yeah.
Yeah, like way too early predictions for for Wrestle Kingdom could be the next episode.
Maybe we will do that because all the fucking G1 shit is finished and we're going to need to figure out what to talk about. But we do have some big shows on the way. You know, we do have the Naito Okan defense. We do have the Zack defense. We do have Royal Quest. World Tag League's going to be in here somewhere. Like, and then we're on to Wrestle Kingdom. I'm also going back to Japan, and they've booked the show when I can't fucking see it. So, like, there's lots to talk about.
Fucking pricks.
I know.
Those bastards.
I'm at the other end of the country. Japan, like New Japan always do that, though. I just wish they would decide like the dates of their main events in advance. Like fucking Wrestle Kingdom, you know, but it's like King of Pro Wrestling is always on the 14th of October. Fucking Dominion is always this date. Fucking Royal Quest is always this date. And then just lay it out. All the things that happen in between, but you know those key dates are there, right? Because we booked trips over there and like this Zack defense, like the whole show wasn't even announced. And then so you book your holiday and stuff, and then next thing you know, the fucking G1 winner is challenging for the title on the second day of your holiday and you're in Sapporo. You're at the opposite end of the country with like hotels booked, hire cars, like you can't move that shit, you know.
Ah, man. That's so fucking tough, dude. That's
you know what?
So
I get on a train for 9 hours the morning of that show, like to head north. Like I'm there for like 2 days and then I leave the city where this is happening to head to the opposite end of the country. And I booked that 3 months ago, maybe longer, you know, like how much does that hurt?
That's so tough, man. And like, there's nothing you can do about it.
No.
Deal with it.
Like I can't like tear up bookings and hotels and fucking shit like that. You just can't. You know what I mean? Like it's.
I mean, and even if you could, like, you know, get rid of the car hires and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
like you've put down money on so much of this, and you're not getting all of it back.
Yeah,
which sucks.
And it's like as well. I don't want to. Like the whole holiday is booked around all these other things for a reason, and it's like I've seen New Japan many times, and there's other things I'm doing in those places, you know. And my wife has put a lot of work into planning this kind of stuff. It's not fair for me to just go tear up your entire itinerary. We're going to watch Zack, you know, like fucking So
she's like, fine, let's do everything you want to do.
Yeah, exactly, which we already do like nearly all the time. So it's absolutely. But either way, I think very fun. Congratulations, Ichiban Sweet Cast, on 100 episodes, surviving a name change, surviving a theme change.
It got really touchy there for a second with the name change too. It was just like, do we even bother? Like, and I'm trying to think like
we did consider closing the podcast at that point because there was a lot going on in personal lives as well, and then. You know, you could argue at the time that New Japan just got gutted of some of our favorite wrestlers. And we're like, why do we even fucking do this, man? Like, is this the perfect time to just gain back hours out of our life again? Was basically the conversation that we had. But we stuck with New Japan and we stuck with each other. And I think we've had a lot of fun before it. Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we did because we earned a damn good G1 out of it. A damn good G1 out of it, and a damn good Best of the Super Juniors as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So,
there we go.
Oh, I think I hear somebody's car pulling up. Why don't we do the plugs and we'll get up out of here?
Yeah, absolutely. Hit him with it, man.
Well, if you want to hear more from Rafe and myself, you can find Rafe's sister podcast, the Faces and Feels cast, here on the lovely Count Out Podcasting Network. He gets to interview different independent wrestlers from around the world and get to know a different side of them. If you like what I'm slinging at you, you can listen to the Throwing Dice podcast, where I talk about different gaming hobbies and things like that, tabletop role-playing, tabletop wargaming, and all of that sort of stuff. If you want to check out our other sister shows here on the Count Out Podcasting Network, you can go to patreon.com/countoutpod to help us out. You can give a couple of bucks every month, something you wouldn't miss if it dropped out of your wallet, but it helps a lot of cool podcasters do a lot of cool wrestling podcast stuff, and we appreciate it very much every time we get that little pay bump every month.
Little bang the word, but it still all adds up and helps me buy Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff.
Gotta feed the pugs.
Absolutely.
Feed the pugs. If you want to check out our sister shows, Hot Friends, you can check out the We Work Stiff podcast, Super J Cast. You can check out Keeping It Strong Style, the Never Open podcast, all those other guys. This is such a good area for the fandom right now. And here we are deep in it. I'm feeling good about it.
Absolutely.
I'm feeling nothing but love.
Absolutely. I feel exactly the same, man. Absolutely. So everybody out there, rate and subscribe, listen or die, Spirit of Fight, Style of Strong, Sweet Cast, Ichiban.
Centurabon.
Ichiban Sweet Cast.
This has been a Count Out Podcast. Ring Post Radio is the only show hosted by Ryan Knightsey and Scotty Edwards that talks about the entire world of professional wrestling. With new episodes coming out every Sunday, there is absolutely no reason to not listen to real, honest wrestling opinions from two crazy maniacs. Have a hot boy summer and listen along to Ring Post Radio every Sunday on the Count Out Network.